Bruv, I'm literally telling you that dopamine detoxing is like the yeah, I have to fix this. Yeah, see, I could have just left it. And like, it's part of the plan. Bro, I'm literally telling you that dopamine detoxing is basically like the training wheels protocol to mastering your nafs. Okay, you might know that one scene from Spider-Man where Tony Stark is talking to my boy Peter Parker, and he's like, he gave him like this weird like knockoff like Timu looking Spider-Man suit, right? It's just like the weirdest garbage ever. It looked trash, and he was like, yeah, this is your training wheels protocol before you can like level up and get like the actual sick suit. You know, that's like all has gold on it and everything. It's like this is your training wheels protocol before you level up. I promise you, dopamine detoxing, which is actually an Islamic thing, but we'll get to that later. But like dopamine detoxing is the training wheels protocol to mastering your nafs. If you want to level up in deen, dunya, if you want to level up as a man, if you want to level up your productivity, your business, I'm telling you, mastering your nafs is basically the foundation of it all. And in order to do that, you need to dopamine detox. You might have heard of it before, pushed it off to the side. You've tried it maybe, you've failed, never tried again. I'm telling you now, this is worth doing because let me tell you a quick little story, yeah. What's actually crazy is this, yeah, literally a kafir told me this piece of advice, like to dopamine detox. Even our shuyukh don't talk about this because maybe like now they do, but at the time they didn't. So it's like I was literally like probably 17, sitting in my room, scrolling on YouTube, just doom scrolling, literally. And then I came across this one guy, his name is Hamza Ahmed. Okay. He's like this famous self improvement guy, but he's not Muslim. Okay. So like I stopped watching him because he swears a lot. Anyway, came across his channel and there's like one video that talks about, I don't know, like just beating procrastination and stuff. And then he was saying that the root problem isn't like procrastination, for example. He's saying like actually having low motivation, laziness, like maybe even slight depression, anxiety. Bro, I had so much social anxiety. Anytime I go out to school, I'm sitting in class looking around me, I feel like a stranger. So I'm like, oh, all these things are like checking off the box. Like, yeah, I'm experiencing literally all this. He's like, that's not the root problem. The root problem is your poor mental health. So I'm like, oh, so that's the root problem. Okay. And then he said to fix your poor mental health, you'll automatically fix all these. And to fix your poor mental health, you dopamine detox. And I did it. And even though like I messed up a little bit, I've tried it. Next day I like literally like started drastically reducing anything that like spiked dopamine and stuff. And after 40 days, I remember my mindset shifted completely where I like was able to actually reflect about my goals on a whole deep level where now I was like, okay, avoiding the bad habits. And now I was feeling like my anxiety's gone. And now like literally the next day I started to work out, went to the calisthenics park, and now I'm like doing pull-ups and whatever. And I'm like, literally a month ago, or like about a month ago, before I dopamine detoxed, I didn't feel like doing anything. I had such a undisciplined nafs. My nafs was in control of me, and I could feel that. But after I dopamine detox, that was like my training was protocol to basically like mastering my nafs. You can think of like this is like the level one if you want to like start mastering your nafs and take yourself to a whole new level. Okay, so what I'm saying is like, bro, even this kafir, like no offense, Allah yahdi for real, but like this guy who's not really a Muslim, he helped me by like, okay, dopamine detox is a way to actually fix your poor mental health, and that will also, I learned that after I started getting way more into like the Islamic perspective on things, that okay, like let's say this is you, all right, this is you, all right, you've got your brain the size of a Allahu alam, then you've got your heart, okay, and then you've got wherever your nafs is, just call it N. What happens is when like Imam al-Ghazali talks about, Imam al-Ghazali or Ibn al-Qayyim, how all this is intertwined with your heart, your spiritual aspect. Your heart is intertwined with your nafs. There's like this chain reaction, that there's this relationship of being intertwined. Yeah. So what affects one directly affects the other, whether it's positive or negative. So if you're eating junk food, brownie, cookie, whatever the heck you're addicted to, right? That affects your stomach, for example. That affects your body, your mental aspect, your brain fog. You can't think. If you can't think, let's say you dhuhr بيأذن, you pray dhuhr, now your heart is not present because your mind is all over the place, and it's like lazy now. It's brain fog, can't think. And so when it comes time to salah, you're just too lazy. You can't think about the ayat, about subhanallah wa bihamd, about subhanallah al-azim, subhana rabbi al-a'la, whatever is in salah, you know. And then after salah, you're just going to be doing stuff where now your nafs is craving more things, like bad habits, for example. And then that further affects your heart, khushu', iman, mindfulness, taqwa. And then that also affects your mind, where now you can't think, now you just can't make decisions properly. So I'm saying dopamine detox is like the training wheels protocol to mastering your nafs, because once you like achieve level 1 of mastering your nafs, then you'll have such a high impact on like your mental health, which will as a result have such a ROI on your energy, focus, and barakah in your time. All of it. It like has so much to do with your spiritual aspect, way more than you realize. And so if you want to be more disciplined and master your nafs, whatever area, like whatever that area is for you, maybe you're in a phase of building your business. Maybe you're just trying to quit bad habits. Maybe you're trying to be like doing way more Islamic habits. Level up your consistency with Quran, memorizing, learning Arabic. You get me? Whatever that is for you, that you're trying to master your nafs so you can be able to achieve those goals, I promise you, dopamine detox is like the training wheels protocol that you have to go through in order to start mastering your nafs. You avoiding this is just you avoiding basically leveling up your mental aspect, your spiritual aspect, and that's why you feel so lazy all the time and whatever, because like you're just avoiding this. So even the jihad to achieve the dopamine detox, there's no one right way to do it. Don't overthink it and be a weirdo. Just take action, okay? Have the niyyah, and Allah, like if you have the right why, Allah will take care of the how, bro. So like just strive for the sake of Allah towards this and stop being a baby. Okay? What's really nice is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala literally says like He will test your nafs. Okay, your nafs is currently being tested with these bad habits. So you not having the control is a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to see if you're willing to do like the training wheels protocol in order to master your nafs. Dopamine detox is Islamic, by the way. Quick side note, Imam al-Ghazali talks a lot about fasting. Dopamine detox is what? Staying away from anything that will spike your dopamine. Fasting is staying away from anything that will negatively negatively spike your desires to sin. Some sins, weed, vape, looking at haram, also affect your dopamine. Things that lead to sins, خطوات الشيطان ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان, are also like the root of this, like what leads you to the sin. So then that root, that footstep becomes a sin. So if doom scrolling leads to a sin, like leads you to a haram website, for example, doom scrolling is haram for you. Like it becomes haram if you can't control yourself from doom scrolling. Because also doom scrolling, bunch of dopamine. If you end up missing fajr because of how much food you eat before you sleep, eating food before you sleep, even though that's a lot of dopamine, that leads to a sin. So لا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان. So striving to dopamine detox is your training wheels protocol, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this. Let me put the mic next to the speaker.
تدخلوا الجنة ولما يأتكم مثل الذين خلوا من قبلكم مست.
Whoops. Didn't go as planned with the, oh shoot, I lost the magnet. We move. Do you think you will enter Jannah without being tested, just like those who were tested before you? Imagine the Sahaba, the Rasul, all the righteous Muslimin, the ulama. They didn't have any hyper stimulating dopamine like social media, a bunch of junk food and stuff. They could have like easily indulged in things that would spike their dopamine, but they did the things that would allow them to master their nafs. And so, you dopamine detoxing is basically striving for the sake of Allah to be able to master your nafs with like the level 1 instant gratification habits. You not being able to delay gratification means your nafs is in control of you. And I love to say like this one thing, that if you don't control your nafs, shaitan will control it for you. So we don't want the enemy to be in control of our decisions, to be in control of influencing what we do. Our vision is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and enter Jannah. Shaitan's vision is to lead us to Jahannam. He's the enemy. So having the enemy control your nafs is the like literally the exact thing we're trying to avoid. And so dopamine detox is the training wheels protocol to literally you being in control of your nafs, you mastering your nafs. Allah also says in another ayah,
ولا تكونوا كالذين نسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم.
those who forgot Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah made them forget about themselves. Now obviously that's like an extreme thing, right? Like we don't associate ourselves with being from those people, right? But you like think about the cycle you might be in now, where you might not feel urgency to work on yourself, to pursue your goals. Years you haven't made progress, maybe. Years you haven't learned something new. You feel like you're stuck. I remember like reading from Ibn al-Qayyim's book, Ihya Ulum al-Din or Jawab al-Kafi. That's a punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. عذاب الأدنى دون العذاب الأكبر. A small punishment that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you as a rahmah, as a mercy, aside from the big punishment. لعلكم ترجعون or لعلهم يرجعون. So you can return to Allah. So I'm telling you, not mastering your nafs, you without realizing it, you're slipping away. Without realizing it, your nafs is going to lead you into a place you don't want to be. And if right now you're in a spot in life where like you don't want to be here, you want to be in a better position, in a better status, make more progress and whatever, your nafs led you here. Not mastering your nafs is what led you here. And so if you want to be able to achieve certain things in life, level 1 is dopamine detoxing. What you can do, like your action step, is even though you might have tried this before and you failed, think of dopamine detoxing as you're not trying to go all intense and you're trying to like, oh, straight up cold turkey, cut off everything. It's like dopamine detox, think of it as just a gradual reduction in the bad habits. And we want to do it in a way that's like actually sustainable for you. So like, to give you an example, okay, let's say you play FIFA a lot. Yeah, FIFA Ultimate Team. You play for 5 hours. The way to dopamine detox is, okay, today you played for 5 hours, so tomorrow play for 4. And the next day play for 3. Until eventually you just stick with an amount where you're satisfied with. And so you just do 1. And so then you transition to like, okay, you know what? I still feel the urge to play even after 1. So what I'll do is whether I'll play 2. Win or lose, I'll cut it off. Khalas. Win or lose. So now you're setting standards for how much dopamine you can get. And you just keep drastically reducing. Like you apply that to other areas of life like food, chips, you get me? That's supposed to be like a brownie, supposed to be like a the bag. Okay, we've got Lay's, whatever, Cheetos, Doritos, Fritos. Maybe whatever it is, you're just hyper stimulating dopamine. Phone, YouTube, right? Instagram, whatever it is, apply that process. Like, okay, if you've got 4 hours of screen time, which is like the average, what you want to do is just like one thing you could do is, and no, okay, I don't even enjoy social media that much. What if I just watch my, like, what number one YouTuber or content creator is the most entertaining to me? And you just watch that guy because nothing else really interests you anyway. So then you just stick to that one guy. And maybe like he'll post a video maybe twice a week, 20-minute video. It's like, you know what? That's like peak entertainment for me. And I'm happy with that. Good. You just like, you're basically in the process of dopamine detoxing. You're slowly mastering your nafs to not overindulge. That's how you can do it, okay? So this is like literally this is your Peter Parker training, okay? I could be like the Tony Stark. All right? I don't want to make this cringe, but like I could be the Tony Stark, you could be the Spider-Man. Still pretty cool. We're still both heroes, so it's a win-win, okay? This is your training wheels protocol to mastering your nafs, bro. Tawakkul ala Allah. Don't buy into your emotions and justify with logic.